So for this video, it's just a quick intro to the different types of woods that we typically see in bat making, as well as the different types of cuts you may get in your billet. So just to reiterate, a billet is the name for the cylindrical piece of wood that you're going to buy and turn into a wood bat. So there's two different types of wood billets that you can get. You can get split wood and sawn wood. The difference is split wood is exactly what it sounds like. When they cut these wood pieces into billets, they split the wood. They take that wood, they cut it into a cylinder, and there you go. Sawn wood is, again, exactly what it sounds like. You saw the piece of wood into basically a square, and then they cut it into a cylinder. The reason I bring this up, there's a significant difference between the quality of bats that you're going to get. My suggestion, when you know how to make a bat and you're pretty good at it, go with split wood. Split wood will always give you a stronger bat, and it'll be a much, much, much higher quality than sawn wood. However, when you're first starting, sawn's not a bad way to go because it's usually cheaper. So my suggestion when making bats, just throwing this out there, see if you have any friends who are okay with you just making them a bat. It's probably not going to be that great the first few. So just maybe make a deal. What I did with my friends, I asked them if they could just pay me for the wood and I'll make you a bat. At that time, the wood was like 25 bucks a piece. They gave me $25 a person. I bought the wood and I made them some really bad bats. So it's a good way of getting started. So really, sawn versus split. Keep that in mind. Now, here are the three types of woods that you're usually going to see. Again, you could do a Google search, not have to watch this video. There are three types of woods that people tend to use. We have ash, maple, and birch. Differences. Ash is one of the bats you're going to see that are really cheap. All right. The reason they're really cheap is because they are, well, not to be mean, but the wood itself, they don't really last that long. So as you can see here in this image, the grains are much bigger. And what this usually indicates is over time, it's going to start to dry out and it's going to start to flake away. So ash bats are known for being cheaper and they're also known for being very durable. So these bats are very flexible compared to birch and maple. So in other words, if you have someone who is still learning how to play baseball or tends to miss, that inside pitch a little too much and they get hit on the handle, ash is a more forgiving bat. It's less likely to break when you get jammed up or hit it off the end. Maple is the opposite. Maple is going to be very strong, very hardwood, very, very hardwood. And over time, it's not likely to dry out. In fact, it's likely to do the opposite. It's likely to suck in moisture and get heavier over time. The other thing with maple wood is it's very unforgiving. So if you get jammed up on a pitch or hit one off the end of the bat, it's more likely to break. The difference, it's more dense and more likely to hit the ball further. That's why Major League Baseball players today are typically using maple bats. So real quick recap, ash, weaker bat as far as the wood, more flexible, more forgiving, more likely to flake away and break over time. Maple, stronger, denser wood, less forgiving, more likely to break on a bad pitch or a bad swing. All right, so maple is usually the one people go to for the higher quality bats. You can also get a high quality ash bat, but maple is the one people typically go to. If you want something in the middle, birch. Birch is a nice little in-between bat. This one gives you a little bit of flexibility, but also some power. So this is the one personally I like, except I've been using more maple because it's easier to get a hold of. So those are the three different types of bats. Types of woods you can use to make the bats. We talked about split versus sawn wood. And then the last thing is different grades of bats. So you can get premium or prime grade wood. You can get A grade, you can get B grade, economy grade. There's a whole bunch of different names. So at the end of the day, the thing I think is most important, get a split versus a sawn wood. I would highly recommend split wood when you're more serious about using your bats. Sawn when you're first beginning. It's just suggestions. You could do what you want. And when you're going for grades of wood, when you're first starting, use lower grade wood because it's cheaper. But then as you go on, the woods get higher and higher quality. But because of that, they also get more expensive. So anyways, now you know what kind of wood you're looking for. And then you could buy your billet and then turn it into your first bat.